A very good evening, everyone. Sorry for the inconvenience. A very good evening, everyone. Core team, can anyone please confirm I'm visible and audible at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. A very good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to everyone present here in this winter evening. My name is S. Harshada, and today I will be embracing you all on behalf of NVCTI IIT ISM Dhanbad. Welcome to the pre-challenge workshop for the Winter Challenge 1.0 on the OpenVINO Toolkit organized by NVCTI in collaboration with Intel. Hope that most of you are aware about this Winter Challenge competition which is going on. Yes, organized by NVCTI IIT ISM Dhanbad. We had conducted the Know Your NVCTI event on 22nd of January. And we explained a lot about and what is NVCTI, what is Winter Challenge, and gave a brief introduction. Gave a brief introduction about Winter Challenge 1.0. Anyone how many of you have attended this Know Your NVCTI event? Like the present members? I think we must have attended it, which was organized at 22nd January. Yes. So I don't think so. There is some things to show, but yes, if you have not attended yet, you can go to our YouTube channel. I'm sorry, am I audible clearly? Please, sir, anyone please confirm?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so if you have not attended yet and don't know much about it, so you can go to our YouTube channel named Naresh versus Center for Tinkering and Innovation. There you go and watch our Know Your NVCTI introduction video. And there we have explained briefly, Amanharsh sir has explained about gave a brief introduction about Winter Challenge. And yes, you will be explained about it today also. So just giving you a small introduction about what is NVCTI. Yes, NVCTI with the objective to encourage, inspire young creators of IIT ISM Dhanbad. This college has established Naresh versus Center for Tinkering and Innovation in September 2019 with the generous financial support of Dr. Naresh versus Sir. He is one of our alumni who was graduated from petroleum engineering in the batch 1967. So this center has the intent to build an innovation system to generate this creative solution and to find the realistic problem and then produce that solution for it, and we aim for that. And to extend our views, extend our innovation challenge, this NVCTI IIT ISM Dhanbad is giving us the opportunity through this Winter Challenge 1.0. This is for the first time the Student Innovation Cell of NVCTI IIT ISM Dhanbad has taken this step. And talking about Winter Challenge is a multi-level organization, competition, which aims to infuse a culture of innovation and creativity for the young minds to dream big and to convert their dreams into reality. It is open for the BTech, MTech, PhD students, open for all who are currently there studying in the colleges. And it is mostly for the eastern zone, eastern part of our India. And to know more about this Winter Challenge, what are the rules and regulations, what are the eligibility criteria, there are many things to know. You can go to our brochure, you can look into it, and you can find it on our posts of our social media handles. So do go to our social media handles in Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and do follow us so that you will get the first update of what next event, an exciting event we are going to have. Hope people here have registered for Winter Challenge 1.0. If not yet, we have the extended deadline till 17th of February, that is tomorrow. Tomorrow till 11, like 23 hours, 59 seconds. IST, like tomorrow midnight, like till tomorrow is the last date to register. So any of you who have not registered yet, or any of your friends who have not registered yet, so do take part, at least take part. Okay, that will create that will make a difference, that will carry a difference inside you. So make sure you do take part in this event. Either you do or not, that's a different story, but you should take part. That is very important. And motivate your friends to do so, because it is going to carry a difference in your life. And to make you all aware that today you have arrived for this pre-workshop, but to make you aware that Intel, yes, one of the famous brands we know, we hear when you buy laptops and all. Yes, Intel is our official innovation partner for the like Winter Challenge 1.0 through the Intel Student Ambassador Program. That is 2021 2022 of our campus. As our innovation partner, Intel will be providing this free access to the OpenVINO Toolkit. About this, you will be learning about this in this session. So Intel will be providing free access to OpenVINO Toolkit and to all the participants in the Winter Challenge. Further, I'm saying like to whom and all. Specifying what is OpenVINO Toolkit, it actually allows user to create and deploy high performance in AI and deep learning applications. Like some of the features of this OpenVINO Toolkit is like it provides GPU access and algorithm development tools, pre-trained algorithms, cloud computing tools, and deployment tools. So these are some of the features, and it also allows participants to develop efficient algorithm related to machine learning, robotics, and SDE too. And students who will be reaching at stage 4 of this Winter Challenge 1.0 will be given the access of OpenVINO Toolkit. I'm sorry, like if I like it is OpenVINO Toolkit, which will be given access who will reach at the stage 4. And to build their prototype, it becomes more easier, more like you will know what is the quality, what is the like importance of OpenVINO Toolkit. So to explain what you are seeing in the screen now, so to explain more about this collaboration of Intel and how to use this OpenVINO Toolkit and more about this Winter Challenge, we have among us, we have our beautiful speaker who will be explaining us. Firstly, we have among us Aman Sir. He is our event coordinator of Student Innovation Cell, NVCTI IITSM Dhanbad. He has done deep learning research intern at IIT Bombay. And nextly, we have Aman Mittal Sir, who is the student ambassador at Intel for our college. And he is also the Senate coordinator of NVCTI IITSM Dhanbad Student Innovation Cell. And he has done ML engineering at Cape Gemini, Proton Auto ML. So this is a very small introduction about them, but they are more efficient than what it has been all written in front of your screens. So without any further ado, guys and girls who are present here, please put your hands together for our NVCTI Senate Coordinator, Aman Mittal Sir. Sir, this virtual podium is all yours now.
Thanks a lot, Harshita. So, hey guys, hello everyone. So, hope you guys are doing good. So, today you will be looking at the complete overview of OpenVINO Toolkit, which has been provided to NVCTI and Winter Challenge 1.0 by Intel through our collaboration as an innovation partner. So, as you can see through the screen, Intel Distribution Kit of OpenVINO was given the award of 2019 Developer Tool of the Year. So, moving on to the next topics and slides. So you must have observed that currently technologies such as artificial intelligence, IoT, that is Internet of Things, are revolutionizing the world with their vast impact on advancements in sectors such as education, finance, health, smart homes, telecommunication, as well as in various industrial and manufacturing applications all around the world. and helping each and every industry and sector in increasing proficiency, safety, as well as giving assurance with robotized experiences and outcomes. Moving on to the next. So when we talk about AI, the first thing which comes to our mind is deep learning, which involves development of neural networks to learn the behavioral trends in the operational routine for heavy use cases. As you can see, with growing impact, there is a tremendous opportunity in global growth of AI, accumulating processing and chipset revenue through inference modules, which we'll be explaining you in this further presentation. Moving to the next slide. In view of the Winter Challenge 1.0, it mostly comes down to systems that you develop for bringing out robotized technology or a prototype in different segments, which involves a lot of image recognition as well as speech recognition. These frameworks can be developed using deep learning very easily. You just need to get an idea on the data, on top of which you are going to develop the framework with reduced error and high economic and operational impact. Moving to the next topic, as we said that Intel has collaborated with various manufacturers in different segments by providing them distribution of OpenVINO Toolkit such as DeepSight in tire manufacturing, JLK solutions in medical diagnosis and security solutions, Sulubai, which is an environmental foundation and OpenVINO Toolkit has helped significantly, and ESA, not the least, which has developed the first ever hardware accelerated AI inference of Earth observations on an in-orbit satellite. So you can see the various use cases and diversification that OpenVINO Toolkit provides. Now I would like to hand over to Aman Harsh to explain you further about OpenVINO Toolkit and deep learning.
So hello everyone. So now we are going to discuss about the working and development process for DL model. Mainly there are 4 phases for that. First, there is an import phase, like where you have to gather some data to train your model and build your model. So first come the import phase, then come the phase where we build our models. Then comes our training phase. The training phase actually includes where you train your model and make it more optimized. You do more hyper tuning and make your model more efficient and accurate. Then comes the most important part, that is our deployment phase. In the deployment phase, it is really very necessary to understand this phase. Reason being, a user cannot go through all your coding and all. The prototype that you are building, one for a user, it need to be very simple so that any user who is not actually aware of the coding part or anything can use your complete, whatever you have developed, can use your model, can use a prototype. Coming to the next slide. Okay, so we are going to have a slide brief discussion over like how deep learning models work, what is an inference engine and all. So I would be discussing all about it with a very simple and very simple example, like for the very first time when you ride your first bicycle. So I'm going to correlate it with how a deep learning model or how an ML algorithm works. So let us take an example. For the very first time, you had your parents gifted you with a bicycle and you are on the road for the very first time. So all the inputs that you are gathering from your environment, you have your visionary inputs. You are having visions like the road, all of the grasses around it and everything. So that are the inputs as a vision. Then might possibly your parents might be guiding you from behind, like go like that, paddle like that. So there are some audio inputs. So how your brain process it with all those inputs and with a final desired output. The desired output is so that you can ride the bicycle successfully. That is your desired output, right? So your brain uses all those inputs to bring the final output. So what happens for the very first time? It is not a big surprise that we might have all failed for the very first time. So what after next? What after that? Our brain recalibrates everything. Every process that you have done so far, it updates it. It's recalibrated. So the next time when you are going to ride it for the first time, might possible you might have ride the bicycle for 5 to 10 seconds. But for the second ride, might possible you have exceeded it and gone for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or even for a minute. So after each repetition, your experience increase, your practice increase, and your brain, like your model, it gets more accurate and accurate after each process. So that's what happens with a deep learning model. You got that what I'm trying to say? So after each epoch, your model gets trained, your model's weight, your model node weights and everything in the model gets updated, so that for the next time when it is going to predict anything with your training data set, it is going to be more accurate. Okay. till here, I don't feel you might have like feel anything like how deep learning model or how ML learning model works. So now coming to the most important part, I am repeating this. This inference model is very, this inference engine is very important. Reason being, this is the part where the deployment comes in the role. So please pay attention in that. So what an inference engine is, or what is the basic need of that? So let's suppose I have deployed my entire model on Google, on some Google Cloud or any other cloud services on website or app. So when a user puts the data, now understand this, when I tried to train my model, that was a complete different data set. Every data was pre-processed, every data was already channelized at the very first when I was giving it to the model. But when it comes to the deployment part, now as a user, I am going to give a new sort of training data, new sort of input data, which might or might not be equivalent to the training data that was given at the very first moment. So one has to channelize it, one has to pre-process it so that when it is given to the our model, it can actually when it is given to the model, it can actually understand it, it can actually work on it, and can give you the desired output that is actually being needed by you. I hope this whole deep learning training and inference model is understood to you. Now coming to the very next slide. Okay, so this is AI compute considerations, right? So while working on your model for the prototype building in winter challenge competition, we would suggest you to consider few factors while working on AI ML models. AI ML computations, right? So for the very first is workloads. That is how big or small your data set is. According to that, you have your according to that needs, you have to change few things. Then comes the requirement part. That is on what kind of data you are working on. Might possible you are working on a computer vision data. You are having a lots of images. Then might possible you may be working on an NLP or text based data. So your entire dependency, what kind of data you are using, is on that only. So your entire requirement changes. Might possible the hardware that is required for your image processing part is not required for the NLP part. So the entire requirement changes once the type of the data set that you are going to process on changes. Then comes the demand part. That is what kind of hardware demand your model is going to cost you. It is much more simpler to work on a model that has some slow and very less data set. For example, if I'm only working on some 15 or 50 companies data set, then it is very easy to compute the entire model. But when you are working on a data set with thousands of companies, or you are working on image based models, that then computation power has to be increased. You have to use GPU instead of CPU. So all these variations you need to consider while you are working on the AI computations. Coming to the next slide. So, okay. Also, while building your prototype based on AI/ML model for this competition, you might face few challenges, such as unique inference needs. I have already discussed about the inference part where the user actually gives you the input. So each and every input could be unique. So taking that into the consideration is a very big challenge in a deep learning model. Coming to the next, that is the integration challenge. Sorry. Coming to the next, which is the integration challenge. That is, it is sometimes difficult to bring the entire setup, that is the multiple softwares, multiple sensors that you are using, so multiple softwares and hardware to work in a harmony so that your prototype can work properly. Then comes our no one size fits all. That is, like when the diverse requirements occur, therefore you are enabled to meet use specific needs that you need to understand. So these are few challenges that you might face during a deep learning model processing, so you must take care of that. Coming to the very next slide. So, okay, now the question might arise is like why I should go for OpenVINO Toolkit for this winter challenge or not something else. That could be easily answered because it is fast, accurate, and efficient. It has an efficient interface so that a normal user can use it and bring up with some great prototypes, great models. Also, it will help you from the development phase to the final deployment phase. Everything would be covered. Even if you are comfortable with Keras or TensorFlow or PyTorch, in whichever format you are comfortable, you can build your model in that and can deploy in any format for the Windows program, for the Linux, or for Mac OS. No foundations on that. Okay, coming to the next slide. As Aman Mittal sir has already told you and already have made you aware, like what are the basic uses of this OpenVINO toolkit and how it is already helping many people in industrial, healthcare, retail, and security sections. So I won't be wasting your and my time on this discussion. So coming to the next slide. Okay. So this graphs might not make much sense to you, and neither it makes to me. But the only insight that we can take from this is you always have to consider the compatibility between the hardware and the software. For basic example, let's suppose you have built a great model. For your prototype, you have built a very great model. Your accuracy is more than 95%. Everything is working very fine. But when you come to the hardware part, you're going to inculcate your software into that hardware. Might possible your hardware not even will not even support it. Your hardware will not be even able to process all that data and everything. So your entire hardware, everything goes in vain. So you must take care of this hardware and software compatibility so that everything works in harmony and your prototype can bring the desired output. Now I would like to call Aman Mittal sir again so that he can discuss about the developer journey in OpenVINO Toolkit. Aman, please.
Yeah. So moving to the next slide. So here we will see the complete developer journey of the OpenVINO toolkit, and when we provide our participants our OpenVINO toolkit, what will be the steps which will help you in completing the integration part to your prototype. So first will be the building of the model, then optimizing the model, and next will be the deployment model. Although we will be looking at all these three steps in very much detail. Moving to the next slide. Now that you all have got the overview of OpenVINO Toolkit, how will you use it, what are the steps involved in building and deploying an efficient algorithm? So the steps involving in building the baseline model using frameworks such as PyTorch, TensorFlow, Onyx, Caffe, and many more, after which comes the step of optimizing the model, through various analysis methods and tools available, and to end, you deploy the model and integrate it with a server for functional routines as we have mentioned here. Coming to the next slide. For such purposes, you can also utilize different Intel's engine as per your need, like Intel Atom, Xeon, Movidius, Core, etc. And we will see these processes in much detail. Coming to the next. So when it comes to building your model or algorithm, you can use all these frameworks as Aman Harsh sir discussed. You can use TensorFlow, PyTorch, Caffe, Keras as per your comfortability and suitability. Coming to the next slide. Sometimes you can also use pre-trained models for various applications such as segmentation, image processing, text recognition, speech recognition, object detection, and many more, and Intel's OpenVINO toolkit will provide you with all those. Although most of the times it is suitable to build your own algorithm because it develops an essence of originality and novelty in your work. And although for Winter Challenge 1.0, which is being conducted by NVCTI, we will recommend that you build your own algorithm rather than using a pre-trained algorithm provided by Intel. Coming to the next slide. Now this was the basic building algorithm part, although we won't go in detail at how will you build the algorithm because that's your role, right? So now that you have built your baseline, you need to optimize the performance of the model. Various techniques through which you can optimize are linear operation fusing, stride operation, group convolution fusing. Yes, these terms might be sounding very complicated, but don't worry because these are very simple. Like, for example, what linear operation fusing means. It means that there are various layers involved in a neural network, for example, multi-connected layer or convolutional layers. So there are different operations, linear operations of multiplication and addition in between those different layers. Stride operations, again, there is nothing much complicated about it. It is like you apply the method of batch normalization before operating the linear fusing methods on a given neural network. And lastly, the group convolution fusing. Group convolution, what it does is that it will help you group and group different convolutional layers in a given neural network on which you can specify or operate through different linear fusing methods. So coming back, these methods are all hardware agnostic, as you can see. Coming to the next slide. So one of the most common and efficient ways to reduce the model size through post-optimization without retraining the model, after which the framework undergoes checks for environment specifications and accuracy check. So you don't face any problem in future while you're working on your problem statements. Coming to the next slide. To ease up your process of optimization and a complete process of optimizing the deep learning model that you will be building, OpenVINO Toolkit will provide you with a web-based extension through which you can optimize and automate the analysis of the model through graphs and visualizations, as well as vinograd calibration, remote profiling, etc., along with which you will be provided with accuracy checker to constantly monitor your model's performance in real time. What you need to do is you need to select the model which you want to optimize with a target variable and a training dataset on which you are training the model, and run the optimization process iteratively. It is simple as it is. Coming to the next slide. Now I will ask Aman to explain you about the deployment process.
So here comes our deployment process once again, as we have earlier discussed about inference engine and its working. Now I would like to address few key features about OpenVINO Toolkit. So first of all, it is compatible with multiple high-level languages like C, C++, and Python. You can work any of them. Then it allows you to use dynamic plugins with various different hardwares. I would like to elaborate on that. Reason being, it is important when you are working on projects like robotics or any other which actually inculcates all the hardware components. So what it basically means is, like, for example, you are working with a Raspberry Pi and you are having multiple sensors to bring the input. So you can bring the multiple inputs so that it can be fed up to your model and the final desired output can be achieved, right? So all those inputs that you are gathering with your sensor, but first it has to be channelized through an inference engine so that it could be used with your model. As we have already discussed, all the raw inputs that you are going to use might or might not be possible, was as accurate as it was given as in your training data set. So first it has to be channelized, so a inference engine has to be used. So either you are going to write a code for that, or whatever you're going to do it, OpenVINO Toolkit provides you a better interface for that. You can use it as a plugin. You just have to plug it over there. All of your input would pass through that inference engine, and your model would work more accurately and more precisely. I hope that's understood. Now coming to the third point, okay. Now coming to the third point, you don't have to monitor or maintain like multiple code for running that single API, as I have just told you. Okay, so coming to the next slide. Okay, so it can be of great help that while working on prototypes in Winter Challenge, as you only have to write once and you can deploy across multiple platforms with the help of same API. You don't have to build different and multiple APIs to work on different platforms. A single API will do all your job. Then no need of retraining, as as you're using the inference engine, you don't have to retrain your model with new kind of raw inputs. Your inference engine will take care of everything. You would achieve great efficiency and great accuracy. Now it will also provide you with multi-device plugin which make it easy to use. We have already discussed about the plugin part. Now coming to the next slide. Okay, so it is just a diagram that is actually showing like how OpenVINO Toolkit allows you to use multiple plugins with cross-platform flexibility. Okay, so last slide from my side. Coming to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is the last slide from my side, but it is very important. Please pay attention to it. As OpenVINO also provides you with additional help with add-ons and tools, but you must note that you are not allowed to use model downloader. I'm repeating my statement. You are not allowed to use model downloader or any kind of pre-trained or pre-tuned model in Winter Challenge. This competition, you're not allowed to do so. Reason being, if you're already using a pre-trained model or a pre-tuned model, you're doing nothing for the prototype building part. So you're restricted for that. And if our team would find any of you using that, your team would be eliminated. Please kindly note that. But you are free to use other add-ons like deployment manager, benchmark app, and accuracy checker, as it will also help you to keep a track of your model's progress, efficiency, and accuracy. So that's all from my side.
So guys, now I will tell you like what you will be doing with the OpenVINO Toolkit, and when we will be providing you with the OpenVINO Toolkit and how you will utilize it. So the students who have registered in the Winter Challenge 1.0 will be provided with the OpenVINO Toolkit in the fourth stage, when you will be bringing the prototype or the complete submission on your topic. Okay. So Harshada, if you may share your screen, I will show you that how will you download it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you can just go on Chrome or any of your browser and just search download OpenVINO Toolkit. So from these steps, you can download the OpenVINO Toolkit, and you will mention your operating system as Windows or Mac OS or Linux, whichever you operate, and select the distribution as online and offline because you'll be working on both. Make sure that you select the latest version time, and after which you will select the installer type to be offline. Okay. Moving below, you will also see that you will have to register for your download by your email ID as well as your country or region, that will be India, right? And after clicking on the button of submit and begin download, your complete installer will be downloaded onto your local machine. And after which you will install the OpenVINO Toolkit, and this complete process will be automated and you won't have to do a certain thing in it, nothing else. And after the complete download has been taken place and it has ended, you will be directed to a newer website. Harshada?
Yes, sir. Shall I? So just a minute.
So after you have downloaded the complete OpenVINO Toolkit, you will be redirected to this page. Moving to step 3 in this website. I think there is some technical issue.
So just a minute, sir. Is it visible?
Yeah. So moving to the step 3 in this website. If you scroll down, you will see step 3. Yeah. So you'll be redirected to this area automatically. So after you have downloaded, you will have to configure the environment of your local machine or the server on which you are working on the Winter Challenge prototype. Okay. So you must update several environment variables before you can compile and run the OpenVINO applications. And it is simple because you will have to open the command prompt and run the specific command which is mentioned right here through a batch file to temporarily set your environment variables. It is on a temporary basis. So as you remove the OpenVINO Toolkit distribution after building your prototype, it will automatically get reverted to the default system. Moving to step 4. So after you have changed the environment variables, you will need to configure it, right? You will need to configure the model optimizer. The model optimizer is a Python-based command line tool for importing trained models from popular deep learning frameworks such as Caffe, TensorFlow, Apache. So it is a key component of the Intel distribution of OpenVINO Toolkit because it helps in performing inference on the model. Although be sure and ensure that you don't download any pre-trained models from Intel distribution of OpenVINO Toolkit. Okay, so you will be disqualified instantly. Moving to step 5, which is I think there is some technical issue.
Harshda, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sir, sir, I'm really sorry, sir. So due to some technical issues. Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
you can continue.
So in the step 5, although it will be an optional step, so you will have to configure the inference engine on non-CPU devices, whether you are working on GPU or FPGA or ACIC engines, you will have to configure the inference engine. Otherwise, you don't have to, and you can go through these steps of configuring the inference engine. And after you have completed all these steps, you will now be able to work through the OpenVINO Toolkit distribution provided by Intel in collaboration with NVCTI. The processes are very simple and the steps are very simple through which you need to work upon, and all the processes that you need to utilize to develop your deep learning model to build your prototype has been already discussed by Amanar sir and myself, right? Correct? So coming back to our presentation, now we would like to ask you, like, if you have any question and answers or any doubts, feel free to ask us regarding anything, whether it be OpenVINO Toolkit, Intel distribution, or the Vendor Challenge 1.0.
Just raise your hand. We will ask you. Even if you're having doubt regarding Winter Challenge 1.0, like about any part for the competition, you may ask that even. Or if you are having any doubt regarding the OpenVINO Toolkit, we will also take that into consideration.
They would really like to keep this session interactive because tomorrow is the last date of registration for Winter Challenge 1.0. So guys, if you have any doubt regarding it, please feel free to clear it now. Yeah, Dhruv.
Good evening, seniors.
Good evening.
Sir, my question is regarding the problem statement that has been given in artificial intelligence, which is about improving the picking ability of a bot. Sir, I was confused about the word operators that has been used in the problem statement. Will these operators that will train the robots be humans, or are these also robots which will use computer vision?
Manas, would you like to take it?
You can you just repeat the last part or your operator part?
The term operators has been used in the problem statement, which will be training the robots to do the work accordingly.
Yeah, you have to train the robot. So humans would be training the robot so they can do the work completely independent. So you would be training the robots.
Okay, sir. The operators are humans.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anyone else?
So the quiz which would be taken in just 2 days, it will be some specific about problem statement, or it will be a common one?
For one problem statement that is actually related to the software development part, that would be based on the problem statement. Otherwise, all the quizzes would be based on the domain, would be domain specific only.
Okay, sir.
So if none of you are having any doubts, would like to, okay. Arunim?
गुड इवनिंग सर. सर मुझे सर ये पूछना था कि हम तो सर मतलब रोबोटिक्स के लिए रॉस यूज करेंगे, तो फिर ओपन वीनो टूलकिट का फिर हमें क्या यूज करना है एक्चुअली में?
You would be using ROS for your robotics part.
यस सर.
Look, OpenVINO Toolkit is actually more based upon this AI ML development part. So if you are using any model to develop your model, so you can use that for OpenVINO Toolkit. And for this inference part, you might search on the internet, like if you can incorporate ROS with OpenVINO Toolkit or not. If it is not giving you any platform to inculcate your ROS with the OpenVINO Toolkit, you can at least build your model on that. Even if you are building a model on your laptop only, that would be actually using only your CPU part. So at least OpenVINO Toolkit will give you an extra edge so that you can use the GPU and more sufficient computation power. Is
I
there?
hope
So sir, can we use I mean ROS, or should we have to use?
You are open to use anything. I am not even enforcing you to go for Intel OpenVINO Toolkit, but we have just presented like how OpenVINO can help you with all your processes.
Oh, okay sir. Okay sir.
Any other doubts? I think the session was already very much clear and self-explanatory, so most of you guys might not be having a lot of doubts, I think.
If none of you are having any doubt, we would like to conclude the meeting. So Harshda, please do the needful.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. If any of you who have doubt about this session and who are still feeling what to ask, how to ask, and anything like that, you can. And if not, you can go to our YouTube channel. You can again watch this session. If you have any doubt about this presentation and about Winter Challenge, go through the brochure. You will be getting cleared about it. Or you can clear it, because tomorrow the first work is to participate in the Winter Challenge. It is very important because it will make you think differently and come out of your comfort zone. So at least do take part, take a step towards making a difference. And for getting updates, do follow and like our social media handles. It's very important because you will be getting updated first as we post it. And thank you so much, sir, Aman sir and Aman Mittal sir, for giving this brief interview, like insight of this OpenVINO toolkit and diving deep to the seabed. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being the part of this workshop.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.